morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Get Rich 101. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I am your host. I'm Sekou Wrights. I am a survivor of a hemorrhagic, I can't say the name all the time, stroke, hemorrhagic stroke, which is one of the bad ones. One of the bad ones. So he actually asked me what I meant when I said here, that you could hear more about my stroke someplace else. But I just meant like everywhere. So for example, Reverend Melissa is going to play my speech today, my sermon today. And so you'll hear me talk a little bit about my hemorrhagic stroke at the beginning. Hemorrhagic? Anyway, hemorrhagic stroke. So you'll get to hear more about what's happening with me, what happened with me, and what's happening with me, and the hemorrhagic stroke. So, yeah, that's a bit of a long jaunt. All right, and thank you to all my people, Reverend Mel, speaking of which, Fee King, and all my advisors, everyone that has chipped in to help me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And so now, today's presentation topic is yesterday's presentation topic. I'm going to talk about the SP 500, S&P 500, I believe. But anyway, we're going to talk about that, and yeah, we're going to talk about some. Well, actually, it's Friday, isn't it? It's Friday, isn't it? Okay. So let's relax. Let's relax and talk about what's going on. Yesterday, I went to, I don't know what to call it. But I went to Primerica, the offices of Primerica, and they handed me this big stack of things. I mean, this is so big. It's so big. So anyway, they call it a manual, and we went through the manual a bit at a time yesterday, and it was a lot of info. And honestly, I would have walked out. Honestly, I'm not too shy to admit I would have walked out, but I have not been able to find work since my stroke. So that's 2.5 years. And this thing just fell into my lap. I wasn't looking for it. It fell into my lap. And even when it fell into my lap, I was like, I don't know. And then last night was definitely, I don't know. Definitely, like, I don't know. It's too much information, the volume, me trying to keep my mind fixated. The two things that kept me focused. One was there was a guy in there who had it worse than me. He was falling asleep. He was going out in class every 5 minutes. Like he was doing worse than me, right? And also, I was recognized. As soon as I walked in, I was recognized. She was like, "Sekou Wrights?" I was like, "Oh, and that person was the person teaching the class. Once again, the person teaching the class recognized me. And I was like, okay. First, I was not too happy about that because I've had some times pre-stroke where I've been trying to do something and gotten recognized, and it turned out not so well. But this time, I didn't have to explain anything to her because she's been following me on Facebook, on social media. And so she knew what was happening with me. She knew what was happening with my stroke. She knew what was happening with everything. So I didn't have to explain anything to her. So she already had some I don't know what to call it, but she was aware. I'll just put it that way. She was aware. And I didn't have to say anything. So during the class, she kept checking on me. "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Can I call you?" later? She's like, yeah, you can call me later. Because I was like, whoa, I'm gonna have to call her. And so I'm going to keep going because sorry, that was my phone text message. That that she she got my back. She got my back. And so that alone was enough to keep me in there. Keep me in there. So I will explain to you what I'm doing with Primerica later. But just that I am experimenting with it. I'm experimenting with it, and so far I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it, and so this thing is big though. This thing is a lot of text, and I was like, woo! And mind you, let me let you understand this. I was I was uh, I don't know how to put this. I don't know how to put this, but up until my stroke, I was considered fairly smart, and now post stroke, it's been a little bit of touch and go. Like sometimes, like with money, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm seeing the waves. I'm on it, right? But sometimes other things just go right past me. Go right past me. And there was a girl there last night who was on it. She was on it. And I started looking at her, like looking at her and getting her reaction. I said, okay, that's what she's reacting to. I'm going to write down what she wrote down and things like that. But I will say this. I will say this. Even though my mind is not quite as sharp as it was, I still know how to study. Like that didn't escape me because I've been studying. I've been studying the money. I'm studying money. So the knee jerk of being able to study kind of kicked in, like about halfway through the class last night. I kicked in. I was like, okay, wait a minute now. I could do this. I could do this. So some of that kicked in, and yeah. So we're gonna see what happens. We'll see what happens because this could be good. This could be good. This could be good. What's that phrase? Papa needs a new pair of shoes. So hopefully this will work out. Hopefully this will work out. And let me just say that it's a lot different than doing DoorDash. It's a lot different than doing DoorDash. And DoorDash war, I tell you, I told a story yesterday, and I hadn't told anyone that story. I hadn't told anyone that story. I not told Feed King. I not told my mom. Not told my dad. Not told my stepmom. I ain't tell anybody that one. I didn't tell anybody that one because that was rough. And even since I remembered it initially to speak it, more things occurred to me. So that's something weird that's happening with my mind. I'll pick one thing from one memory, and then after I pick it, like a whole flower grows around it. And so now I've got more details. I've got more details. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you some of them now. I'm gonna tell you some of them now. So I remember clearly now because it was like kind of mixed together, whatever, yesterday. But today, man, I was walking toward the east side of Manhattan. The east side of Manhattan, as you know, if you know Manhattan, it can be kind of nice over there. And I was going across, and I was thinking, all right, this will be straight across. This will be good. And I got over there, and I was watching the people walk. I just watching them walk, lazy, walking lazy, and I'm like trying to walk and hurting, walk hurt, stop at the light, this, And then I got to this place, And it was beautiful. It was beautiful because I got to the place and I wasn't sure that I got into the right place. I was like, wait, where is this it? Because Manhattan, as you know, is like building after building after building after building, right? But here was this huge space that was a, a red brick veneer, and there was the whole brick space, and then there was like a pathway, and I was like, is this it? Because I couldn't see past the gate, and so I was like creeping around, and then I saw it was a wide open expanse on the other side of the wall. Had flowers, had had um had benches. It was a beautiful space from here until you got to the front door. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. And so I got past him. I got to the doorman there, and I was hoping that he wasn't gonna call him. I was hoping he wasn't gonna call him, and thankfully he did not. Thankfully he waved me up. Just go ahead on and deliver your food. Because I was like, if they come out to get this food, I'm gonna be so embarrassed because I'm telling you that smoothie was down to here. That smoothie was down to here. Like it had melted. It had done terrible. So I went up there and I tell you I was hurting. So I went up, I put the stuff on by the door, and I snuck down to the stairwell, and then snuck down just a few feet before I laid down against the wall and pressed here, delivering food. And I was like, because I had to really let the pain settle. And then I had to get past the man and then past the elevator. And I thought about taking a rest in that space, the space with all the flowers and the trees and all the beauty. But I was like, nah, I don't want. I'm not sure why I didn't want to, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to. But anyway, it was just a moment. It was a moment. It was a moment. It was a moment where I strongly believe that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. And don't get me wrong, like there are still some things about DoorDash that I like. I like the fact that it introduces you to new neighborhoods, new restaurants, new things, but not to live off of. Not to live off of. So you know, I struggled home. I struggled home. I struggled home. I was hurting. I was hurting. I struggled home and I fell out, and yeah, I was like, that was it. That was it. And even when I'm home in Nashville, I don't even really I don't I don't do it because in Nashville it's easier because I can it's easier. So anyway, I don't know why I had to finish that story out. I just guess I had to round out some of the details that were percolating in my head. Anyway, so today is Friday, and I'm just letting it loose. I'm just letting it loose. We talked about Primerica. We talked about DoorDash, and yeah, Primerica feels like another level of DoorDash. Feels like another higher level of DoorDash. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And thankfully, the Lord. See, last thing about this is the Lord seems to be telling me to go this way because I did not want this, right? This I did not want this, and then to put someone in the driver's seat for the whole thing last night and have her check on me. I was like, I have to move forward. I have to move forward. I have to move forward. So I'm gonna give it my go. I'm gonna give it my go. So yeah, we're gonna make it see what we're gonna do. Uh, I almost had it. Uh, we're gonna make it see what we're gonna see. There we go. See what we're gonna see. All right. So yeah. So that's what we got. I think that might be it. I think that might be it. Let me see. Let me check my comments before I move on. Yeah. So a couple comments. Thanks, B King, for announcing my show to your followers. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. I'm gonna talk about the S&P 500 again. This is by Mark Tilbury. Mark Tilbury. And here we go.
If you're really a millionaire, tell me the 3 best stocks to buy to get rich.
Well, actually, I'm going to give you 503 you should buy.
Isn't that going to take a while?
Well, just remember VOO if you're in the USA or VUAG if you're in the UK.
Wait, what are you talking about?
These are index funds that track the S&P 500, and by buying one, you get a slice of 503 of the top US companies such as Tesla, Amazon, Google, and Meta.
Let's play again. Oh, I have to push play again. So let me press play again. Maybe it'll break itself up. Maybe it won't break itself up as much this time.
If you're really a millionaire, tell me the 3 best stocks to buy to get rich.
Well, actually, I'm going to give you 503 you should buy.
Isn't that going to take a while?
Well, just remember VOO if you're in the USA or VUAG if you're in the UK.
Wait, what are you talking about?
These are index funds that track the S&P 500, and by buying one, you get a slice of 503 of the top US companies such as Tesla, Amazon, Google, and Meta.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point this out. So before I go on, Fee's asking me, how's that tea? Fee left the tea in the microwave. I heard the beeping. I was like, what beeping is that? And I went over to the microwave and there was the tea. So thank you, Fee. Thank you, Fee. I appreciate you. Yeah, so, all right. So this is what I have to say about the guy here, Mark Tilbury. And I've played this before. I just want to make it clear to you that some of you have taken my 10% rule. You've taken my 10% rule. You just take 10% off the top. Bravo. Bravo. 10% off the top. Whatever money comes in, you take 10% off the top. Bravo. Bravo. Now, what you're doing with that money is you're putting it in a savings account. You're putting it in a savings account. Okay. Savings account, you can find more, a little more. You can find like 3%, 4%, 5%, you can find that. It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference because inflation is eating it up. It's eating it up. But you can't see the inflation. You can't see the inflation eating it up, but the inflation is eating it up. So what you need to do, you need to take that money away from your bank account and put it into the S&P 500. That's what I'm doing. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing. That's all I'm saying. Because when you move from a savings account over to a stock market account, you move. Well, first of all, you get like 5% off of just moving it there. But then you invest in a stock like S&P 500. Then you get 10 to 13%, like 9%, like even 9%, like that's crazy. So you're moving from 5% to 9%. I mean, let me make it easy. From 5% to 10%. Like there's a difference, right? Just in putting the same money, park it somewhere. So you got to move your money. Now, if you don't trust me, move half of it. Move half of it and have the same amount in both places and watch for yourself. Watch it for yourself. And you'd be like, what is going on? You'd be like, I need to put more over here. And then you put more over there. Right now, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't blame me for anything that goes wrong. But I'm telling you, this is what I did. This is what I did. And this is what you need to do. You know, I'm telling you, you got to move it. You got to move it. You got to get away from the savings accounts. The savings accounts ain't paying you diddly. They ain't paying you diddly. My mom would say, they ain't paying you diddly. But you have to trust in somebody or something enough to move your money over to Charles Schwab. It was who I recommend. Move it over to Charles Schwab and then bet on S&P 500 because you get 500. Look how big that is. 500 of the 503 best companies in America, like Tesla, like Google, like Facebook. Like, you can't lose. You can't lose. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you what I've done for me, right? So yeah, so I applaud you. I applaud you. I applaud you. You got the first step down. You got your 10% out. Taking it out. I applaud you. Now you got to figure out where it's going. You just got to figure out where it's going. You can't be putting it in your bank account because it's eating it up. Like the inflation is eating it up. Like, you got to put it away. You got to put it away in your Charles Schwab account. I just go ahead and name it Charles Schwab account. All right. All right. Let's see. Where would you recommend people start if they're just curious about the money, what the money could do for them? Yeah, you can start with the same thing I've been saying. You can start with Charles Schwab. You can start with $1. You can start with one because like, don't forget, do not forget that I started with $1 during the pandemic. $1 during the pandemic. $1. And I was like, what? And from the moment I did it, things started changing. And the changes you can't anticipate. You can get with someone like me, somebody that I recommend, but they are they've got a little bit of a head start. Me, I've got a little bit of a head start on you. They've got a huge head start. They've been dealing with money and transactions all this time, and they can do it for you, right? But you've got to see how much it'll go. Like, so I'd advise you to take your $1, if that's what you can afford. Take your $1. It does not matter to them. It does not matter to the people at Charles Schwab because they're getting paid. They're getting paid by Charles Schwab. So whatever you bring in is whatever you bring in. I'll say, oh, $1. All right. So this is what you do with the $1. And they will tell you. They will tell you, right? So there you go. Like, what if you get one person to tell you what to do with $1, and he's knowledgeable. He or she is knowledgeable. They've got all the things in their head. They've been working on these things for years. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't know, that's not enough money. They're going to be like, oh, let's see what we can do with $1. So $1. Open a Charles Schwab app. Well, download the app and then go to a Schwab dealership. No, a Schwab. Oh man, I was trying to remember that word. Anyway, but a Charles Schwab physical location. A physical location. Yeah, because then you got everything. You got to get some advice. I know it's hard. I know you're holding back because you're like, I don't have enough money yet. Don't worry about it. Worry about $1, taking that over to Charles and then letting him talk, letting her talk, letting them talk. You know, let them talk to you. And you're like, well, I can do that with $1? Okay, well, put in $2. Maybe I'll put in $3. And this is what happened with me. Maybe I'll put in $4. Maybe I'll put in $5. Maybe I'll put in $6. You know? And I just kept putting it in. And then I made like $1,200 like that. I was like, okay. This I got to figure out. This is what I got to figure out. So, Ashe, I hope I made it through. I hope I got to you. Do not to be messing around with no pilling bank account. Do not be piddling around with some bank account, some savings account. Do not be piddling around with some savings, some yeah. Do not be piddling around with some bank account. That's what I gotta say. You got to move that money over to a stock market account, S&P 500. All right. This is much better now that I'm talking slower. I just got to keep it at this pace as long as I go. All right, folks. That's it. Let's see. Let me see. What do I need to announce? Oh, so the Hero hoodie. I've been wearing it, but I haven't been talking about it. Hero hoodie is my hero line. It's my hero line, and the red is for Hero. And I'm giving a piece of the money to Roxbury Action Program, which is my father's nonprofit. And there we go. Yeah, so I can't believe I've been wearing it and not talk about it, but I've been wearing it all the time. And yeah, this is it. So you just go to my website, saycrewrites.com, go to my website, and you can see where you can watch the episodes. You can go all the way back to the beginning of the episodes, which is a way long time ago. And it starts off as a podcast. Same title, Get Rich 101, but it starts off as a title. And it starts off as a podcast, so it's no visual, but it's there and it's good. It is good. So go ahead, string back and check it out. All right. And any other topics of interest? I don't think so. I think we're good. B King's not around to give me the scoop on what else I should be doing. But so we're gonna call it quits for now. Okay, so let me give you my wrap up, my slogan. Where's my slogan? Yeah, here we go. Now is better than perfect. Shay, because there's so many times where I just say it to myself. I say it to myself because if I hadn't been following that, I wouldn't have made it this far. You know? Yeah. And I ran into a neighbor just now, and I was talking to her about how helpful my book was because she's got something similar happening in her life. I was like, listen, this book was helpful to me. And I didn't plan on publishing it. But it did something for me. So that's what I gotta say. So for my book, if you want to buy 5 copies, I'm gonna give you something special. You want to buy 5 copies, I'm gonna give you something special because I got this idea because someone has already purchased 2 books. And I was like, what? In advance of the May thing that we're doing for my book with Reverend Mel. So yeah, so I'm curious to see. So if you want to buy 5 books, I'll give you something special. I don't even know yet what I'm going to give you, but I'm going to give you something special. All right. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for watching me despite my flubs. And we will see you next week. Oh, Friday. Yeah, Friday. I will talk to you Monday about what I did in terms of stocks on Monday. All right. So I'll see you Monday. Later.